I got 12 hours of sleep last night, which is why I'm standing up, and I feel pretty good. Very tall when I'm standing up here, besides sitting down. I feel more free. I can move my arms. It's kind of weird, right? I don't really know what I need to talk about today. I'm just going to kind of go, I guess. So get this. One time, when I got out of the mental health hospital, I had this set of rules in my head about how things were supposed to be, and I thought I knew what was going on. So, for example, I remember getting out and one day going, "Hey, nobody's really thinking about you as much as you think they are." There's this thing called mind reading, where you can read people's minds and you just assume you know what they're thinking, which is complete bullshit. And I know they're cognitive biases, and I even have this thing right here, which is just full of different cognitive biases, 52 of them, essentially, to help relearn what they are and recognize them. So, one, they aren't happening to you, and you can see it happening in other people. And there's a bunch of them. They call them automatic negative thoughts, which is ANTs for short. And I just remember thinking, like, is that true? And the sciencey side of me, my science brain was kind of like, this is weird. Let's test this. And so I used to think, as I was walking, from like the weight room down to the track, people were like, oh, there's that guy. He's not really working very hard today. I wonder what he's doing. That every time I passed somebody, someone would walk in front of me and they'd have this conversation, this thought process about me. And after I learned this thing, I remember walking from that weight room down to the track to go do a workout. And sometimes the thoughts in my own head were like, oh man, he's going to fucking kill that workout today. Sometimes it was like, fucking guy looks tired as shit. What a piece of garbage. I know what's happening in his life, which is weird because nobody really knows what's happening in your life except me. I know what's happening in my life. So it's just me projecting what's happening, right? And I remember looking around at people, making eye contact. And I used to think people were just staring at me all the time, thinking they knew what they were. I was mind reading. I was literally reading their mind, going, I think I know what they're saying about me. I know what they're thinking about me. And I realize it's kind of complete bullshit, right? You kind of realize that if somebody walked in front of you, you don't really think about them very often, especially strangers, right? Someone walks in front of you, you might have like a quick thought, like, oh, that's a nice old lady. Like when I was at the mall yesterday, I was like, oh, that's a nice old lady, smiled at my kids. Haven't thought of her until this moment when I was like, I need to find some kind of example of mind reading in reverse, right? Zero thoughts about her. Then you're like, maybe that's how most people think about other people. Maybe that's what's really going on. More people worried about their own lives and their own things, that they have the audacity to maybe think about somebody else's life. That's weird, right? It's a weird kind of mental breakdown you have. And when I had that, it was kind of like, oh, fuck. I was walking from that weight room after I had this realization, looking in people's eyes, and all these people I thought were looking at me. You get a nod and a smile every once in a while if you made eye contact, if they caught it. But most of the time, you just kind of walked right by them, and they were worried about their own workouts, Or maybe they weren't. I don't know. This is me mind reading, but they didn't care what I was doing. I don't really think anybody did. And that's weird, right? It kind of breaks the structure you have in your life. It kind of breaks it all down. You can start to go, oh, shoot. What else am I doing this with? And that's kind of where this whole kind of journey has been through, is this constant breaking. And I just had a conversation with my friend Sam, and he's like, yeah, I feel like we've kind of broken out of the matrix a while ago, and I'm trying to pull our wives out of it and kind of show them that there's just a lot of this weird bullshit. If you haven't seen The Matrix, I'm sure my people who watch this, I'm sure have, because they're fucking awesome people. And if you haven't, you're still fucking awesome, but you should check out that movie anyway. But it's about like a bunch of machines, using humans as batteries to power their world, and they have you kind of in this state. They call it the Matrix, this world that's not real. You're just kind of sitting behind the Matrix, in this puddle of goo. You kind of do it, and that doesn't really matter. But it's just like this fake reality that they kind of give you, right? And I feel like we have that a lot where, and there's this, I don't want to call it the Matrix, but I don't know what else to call it, but there's this like societal norms, which is essentially a matrix, and I just had this happen the other day with one of my very good friends. he was telling me the story about this horrible person in his life. I was like, yeah, what a fucking cunt. And he's like, whoa, good word, can't use it. It's not a great word. And I've had this conversation in this podcast already. But cunt is just a word. It's a combination of sounds that come out of your mouth that we put meaning on. And if you go to other countries like Australia, they use that word freely. It's not as weird. But here in America, it's still not the greatest word. It's not as bad as it was, 10 plus years ago. We can say it a little bit more, but he's like older than me, and cunt is still like, wow, fucking word, man. And this is another example of kind of that matrix we have, right? It's not free. It's not free at all. But man, when I let go of that mind reading thing and started to go, I don't think this is real. I felt more free. Like, this tight shirt came off. Like, when you got to dress up and go for a wedding and you have like this fucking tight clothes and it sucks. And you're like, I have to wear this shit because they asked for formal dress here. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I fucking hate it. And I'm uncomfortable. These shoes suck, but apparently they look nice, even though they're pointed toe bullshit shoes. I hate it. These pants, I can't even pick my legs up if I have to run. What if someone starts chasing me? I just need to fucking go, but I can't. At least I look nice. So that's how life feels a lot of times for me. And I don't know if it feels that way for you. It feels like you're at a fucking wedding that maybe you don't even want to be at, because if the weddings you do want to be at, like your good friends, they're not going to make you fucking wear all this bullshit that you don't want to wear. They want you to be comfortable. They want you to just be there. They want you to support it, right? That's the life I want to be in all the time. That one. I don't want to be in this fucking constricting... Wear a tie. What the fuck does a tie do? It serves zero purpose, except maybe to get stuck in machinery and fucking kill you. Heard of that happening a bunch. Or like your kid pulling on it. Fink! Fucking choke you out. Getting stuck in the door, getting dirty. Protects the buttons on your shirt from getting mustard on it if you're eating something with mustard. That's all a tie is good for. A little bib. A little straight, long-ass bib. So stupid. Anyways, that freedom is what I'm constantly going for. Oh, man, and I see it in my kids. They have it. They don't have these rules yet. I don't want them to have them. And that's what I think about that a lot. I think about, are we just constantly trying to teach them how to work in the matrix so they can escape it themselves down the road? Learn the rules so you can break them. Is that what we're doing? Hey, I want you to learn all these rules. I want you to learn them all so you can break them later. Or if you're comfortable, stay in the matrix. If this is what you want. If you like the Matrix and you like to see this woman in the red dress kind of walk by, if you know that reference because you've seen the movie, then stay here. It's great. But for the most part, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I've talked about this with this absurdism kind of thing. Like, when you're in the Matrix, I do feel like I don't want to be here anymore. And when you're forced to do it, I just want to kick and fight. And I'm in this like constant, like, get me the fuck out of here kind of a thing, And like I said, I was having this conversation with my friend, and he was saying he was trying to get his wife out of it, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't think he mentioned that he just realized like the Matrix recently, trying to get out. I was like, dude, you've been out of the Matrix for a long time. We both kind of realized that everyone taught us as we were kids, if you want to make a lot of money, you need to just go to school and work really hard for a company and they'll hook you up. And we realized early on that is bullshit. That's not real. If you want to make real money or have a chance at it, you need to do your own thing. You need to be the guy in charge of the people making money or giving people money, right? You need to be the boss. You're never going to be an employee and make a lot of money. It's just not how that works, And we just saw that. And so we're like, we're going to try and start our own thing. And it was really hard, super hard. One of the hardest things I've ever done. One of the hardest things he said he's ever done too. And we still struggle with it. And part of the times we're like, yeah, maybe it would be better just to work for somebody else. It'd be a lot easier. And that's where you start to lick the Matrix lollipop a little bit, where you're like, ooh, this is so much easier. I'll take way less control of my own life and have someone else in control of it just so I can breathe a little bit. And that's the give and take, right? So you're like, what? There's this a whole other idea of like, you're going to have pain and suffering, but you get to choose what pain and suffering you want. Do you want the pain and suffering of not having control of your life, being in the matrix, or do you want the pain and suffering of having more freedom? But with freedom comes, risk, and that risk can cause anxiety, and being stuck in the matrix can cause anxiety. So it's a strange thing. It's very Zen Buddhist kind of way of thinking that life is suffering. There will be suffering. What kind of suffering do you want? It's weird, isn't it? It's so strange. It never goes away. I haven't seen it go away. And here we are. And I get these stretches of like me being in this little matrix again. I started this pole vault thing over 10 years ago, Team Hoot, and it was supposed to be. If I look back on the old Team Hoot philosophy, it was about getting out of the matrix and seeing like where you're bound and becoming unbound and having the freedom to chase your dreams and not letting other people or society or things say, you can't do that. It's too big of a risk. Well, I took the risk and I did the work and it worked for me. And I know it can work for other people. And at the time I was like, this is fucking amazing. How do I pull other people into this like freedom world? And then you're like, oh, you're pulling them into the space where there still is pain. But how do you just shine light on both of them? It's kind of like what I'm trying to do now, I guess. Like, choose your pain. What one would you like? Here's the pros and cons of both. You're going to have pain. It's going to be great, too. I'm not just talking about the suffering, but here's the good on this side, and here's the good on this side, and here's the bad on this side, and here's the bad on this side, and here's both, right? It's all an illusion. So, like, what illusion do you want? He was also talking to me about social media and how we made this big post, this big video for an enormous company, and he sent it off to him, and he's been working with this company for a long time, and they wrote back things to fix, how it should match more with their PR relations stuff. And when I read it, it was like, you need to change absolutely everything. And then a couple days later, they were like, actually, the engagement is amazing, so don't change anything. Again, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. I'm losing my mind here. Fucking losing it. And this kind of goes back to what I said a couple podcasts ago. I was talking about absurdism, right? Like, it's all just a big game, man. And I have these, like, I don't create as much anymore. Into the real world. In my head, I'm constantly creating. It's like, okay, I'll share some of these because I don't know if they'll ever be made, and only a handful of people watch these. But I have these videos of like me playing a piano because I picked up piano over COVID because I was like I would just want to play it. It just looks like fun. It was a way for me to find fun. And sometimes just music comes out of me, and I don't know where it comes from. It's just like I learn a few chords, and I learn a few like arpeggios, and then it just flows out of me. And I've had this ever since I was a kid when I picked up a guitar. I just wanted to see if I could play the guitar. I thought patterns were cool, and I was never very musical anyways. Not in the traditional sense where I wanted to take music classes, but I just liked learning patterns, and I like feeling maybe what the people who wrote the music could feel like. Like my favorite band at the time was like Blink-182. So if I could learn a Blink-182 song, I was like, oh man, this is what Tom DeLonge feels like when he's playing the guitar. Ooh, we have like this weird connect. This is what it feels like. So there's like all these things. So there's this video. It's like play the piano a little bit. And when I'm playing it, all these thoughts and things come through my head about my kids, And it was like, oh man, what if I play this piano? And then I had like videos of my kids kind of coming out of it. And then like some of the hard parts. Or when like that part comes out of me. It's like music is visual emotions. If you're reading them on paper, it's like you can literally hear someone's emotions coming out. That's like a beautiful thing about music. It's like if your emotions are like waves, right? Like energy in your body. Like sound waves. Let's just call them sound waves in your body. Some kind of like waveform in your body. It's just, you can kind of feel it, right? And those waveforms come out in sound waves coming out of the piano. Like they come straight out of your fingertips. Or if you're playing drums or guitar, it doesn't matter what it is, but it comes out. It's like internal feelings out into the world for other people to experience. Like, that's beautiful. To me, that's one of the coolest things ever. And I feel like I do that with videos too. I'm not allowed to express them as much recently, but I used to. And then this matrix thing, again, is like, with the pole vault, fell into this trap of like, that's what I was doing. I was like, here's what I learned about the sport. Here, learn this. Here's something cool. Here's what I find beautiful. Here's this community and connection and stuff. And then it turned into like social media algorithms where you have to try and beat the algorithm and not necessarily, you don't get rewarded about, I wouldn't even say rewarded. It's like, you don't get as much engagement that way. So then when you see numbers and you tied your mortgage or whatever, your way of life, money situation based on how many likes and followers you get because those people, buy the things you've made, all coming for me so far from a good place. I try not to make anything that doesn't come from that place of helping others and feeling good, but it's weird. It kind of sucks it right out of there. And then you feel like you're just playing the Matrix game again, right? It feels like you're fucking in it. Oh, and I hate it. I fucking hate it and don't want to do it anymore. And it makes me go, man, this isn't fun. This isn't fun at all. I don't think I want to do pole vault anymore. I don't think I even want to talk about it anymore. This isn't great. I don't really like it. And so I don't make a lot of stuff on this side, right? And then I start to believe in my head that maybe I'm just not creative anymore. I'm not good at this stuff anymore. But then I have these ideas of like that music thing with your kids, or like taking a physio ball and rolling it after my toddler who just started crawling and runs from it. And it reminds me of him running away from Indiana Jones and playing Indiana Jones music while he's running from the ball. Or like, what did I just write today? 10 things not to do as a parent, where you use a doll to like throw it off the deck. Or like, don't pick up your kid after making toast, and like sticking your hand into a whole stick of butter and having slippery hands and you drop your child. Like, to me, that just makes me laugh. It's something in me, this energy that wants to come out as some kind of art. Like, it's so stupid. And I have like these other videos where I want to talk about like when I'm feeling stressed out and what that really feels like and things I've learned, because I think that can help other people. And then I have these other ideas. I've had this idea for 2 years that got me into distance running, about how I just wanted to challenge this guy who said he could do this online. I was like, you think you're impressive for doing that? I'm going to try to run a sub 20-minute 5K with zero training. I don't need training to do that. I'm a better athlete than you. And fucking failed miserably. And it took a whole year of me thinking about this guy who didn't even know I was competing with him for a year. Still doesn't know. And he's the reason I ended up being a distance runner. Or doing distance running. I still don't consider myself a distance runner, even though I ran 30 miles last year. But it started with this stupid trying to rub sub 20-minute 5K because this guy did it. And I was like, I can do that too. And I couldn't the first time I tried it. So for a year, I trained to be able to do that, thinking about this guy every fucking day. Like that, to me, that sounds like a really fun video to make. And I think I'm going to make it. And yeah, it's just wild. That this Matrix thing, right? And I feel good when I can just play. And here's my problem. Here's my biggest problem right here. When I can just sit in the space of absurdity with life and all, like there's shit on my walls right here, right? If you can see, I don't know if you're watching this video, there's just shit everywhere to try and remind me to get out of the Matrix. There's a picture of George Carlin looking suspicious at a Bible, like, ooh, while he's holding the Bible. It's hilarious to me. I literally made that. I found a picture of it. I turned it into a canvas and I made it. I have a monk on fire over here protesting a war. And the idea behind that is that he has such control of his mind and awareness of his mind that he could set his whole body on fire and go such excruciating pain that he could still be sitting there and meditating. And I was like, holy fuck, if he can do that, that means probably anybody could get there. He doesn't have anything special, you know? That's wild. That's the power of our minds here, right? And what's really scary is I used to have this idea with depression that if my brain is powerful enough to want to try and kill me, that it feels like it's trying to kill me sometimes, that it's probably powerful enough to save me too. So how do I flip that around on its head? And that was a fucking game changer, right? Like, oh, it's not broken. It's just being used the wrong way. How do I use it the other way? I used to have this idea about, like, X-Men in the movies, and at the beginning of the movies, they all had these powers, right? But they didn't know how to control them yet. They didn't know how they worked. So you had like Cyclops, a guy who shoots lasers out of his fucking eyes, and anytime he got wound up, flank, he was cutting down trees and almost killing his friends and putting holes through the wall of his school, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't figure it out. And then with training and these special glasses and all these other things, he was able to use it when he wanted to, and use it for good, use it to help things. And that's how I guess I look at our brains that way. I look at my mind that way. I look at our bodies that way now too. I look at the whole thing like, okay, a lot of times I feel like I'm just burning the school down and cutting down all these trees. But with some training, it can be a superpower. And that I guess is why all this stuff's on my wall. Why I think about this Matrix idea and how the world, it seems like, society, especially social media, wants us to be upset and angry all the time. And if we're upset and we're angry and we're anxiety ridden, we're in this fight or flight all the time, we buy shit and we argue with other people. And when there's conflict, we try and fix things, and we're in it, and we're here all the time, right? And we're happy, we're creating things, we're challenging things, and we have questions, and we can be little scientists, and we can ask if this is how we really want to be right now, and how we want to react to other people. And that feels like a more beautiful place to operate from. But when people are feeling good, they don't buy things. And when people are feeling good, they aren't engaging horribly online. They aren't engaging horribly in public. And I was going to talk about this in like a pissed off way. And now that I'm sitting here, there's another way to approach it, because I'm feeling pretty good today. I think I got 12 hours of sleep last night because Carrie took the kids to go see our niece's dance this morning. So I got to sleep in for the first time in months. Shows how powerful sleep is. So what I'm trying to say is we were at Costco yesterday, and we have a 2-year-old, right? And she's running, and she's fucking happy. She's just free and like hitting things on the things, like she's running down aisles, like knocking shit down, and it's kind of funny. And we've been trying to warn her that every time she gets to an end, just look both ways, right? Because she might get hit by a cart. So she look out for carts. So she stops. But this time she was so into like playing that she was running and running and running and running and running, and she ran out into the field, and we're like, Amelia, stop! And this worker at Costco pushing a cart stopped, looked at her angry, and then took her cart and like kind of flinched it at her. Oh, like, you stopped, and then you look like you were just going to hit my kid because maybe you're having a bit. And I'm mind reading right now. I realize I'm doing it. I did it yesterday too. I'm like, the fact you did this to my kid. Oh, I had these images of like, oh, I will get my membership taken away. Not just for calling you a fucking ugly ass bitch, fuck ass cunt. Like, I don't know. All these just words that don't make any sense just came out of me. That's not what I would have said. I would have been a little more put together than that. But then I thought, I'm going to break her knees so she can never walk again. She'll think every time she looks at her knees, she'll think that 2-year-old she was going to hit with her cart. And then this like mama bear kind of came out of me. But I'm not a mom, right? And the mama bear is like softening for, this is a weird thought I had. So if you say someone's being a mama bear, it's like, okay, that mother can do violence because she's a mama bear and she's protective, and that's okay. But if you say daddy bear, it softens it up too a little bit. But man, I wanted to elbow that bitch in the jaw. That's what I wanted to do immediately. I was, ooh, you do not fuck with my kid right now. I was so mad. It came out of me. And it's so funny to me again, matrix thing, that you can't protect your kid that way through like any sort of violence or altercation, right? You can't call that bitch a cunt in public. Even though she was trying to hit your 2-year-old with a cart full of Costco bullshit, right? You can't do that. But if you were in the woods with a bear and you hit a cub with a shopping cart, that mama bear would rip your limbs off and bite your throat and eat you while you were alive, you know? And that's okay because that's nature. But we are nature, you know? And we forget this. We're supposed to be better. We're supposed to be better humans. We're supposed to be better than the animals. We're part of the same harmonious chain. Why do we have to act any different? And you know what's weird, especially with this administration and all this stuff going on? I'm not going to be political about it, but we had rules in place. And when we all follow specific rules, everything works better. And then we have this fucking guy who's not following any of the rules. And he's getting away with all this shit. And so if you got a guy not following the rules, this is what happens. Chaos breaks and everyone else goes, oh, but the rules, the fucking rules, we're supposed to follow the rules. Well, he's not following the rules. And I'm not saying that you don't have to follow the rules. But I'm saying you don't have to follow the rules. You can challenge the rules. Sometimes rules are fucking stupid. You know? Like, I talk to my wife about this sometimes, that there are laws in place that were there in the 1910s. And it takes way more work to get rid of a law than it is just to make another one, so they have all these laws that are still there. And this one's fake, but there's laws like this. Like, you're not supposed to, stick your finger in a monkey's nose. It's against the law, in Utah on 5th Avenue. So, it's a law. They're man-made. They can be man-challenged. They can be man-broken. And that's how, I guess I'm going back to this matrix idea. We have all these things in place, and they can be challenged. And we have these things happening in our brains, and we can challenge our brains, and we can look at it with curiosity again. And with this lady kind of trying to, she's probably just having a bad day, and I'm mind reading again. What I could have done is be like, hey, are you okay? Why'd you do that to my daughter? Or why'd you push the cart into my daughter? Had a conversation, maybe learned what was going on in her brain instead of having these assumptions. Because there's this whole other idea of replace judgment with curiosity, and I was judging her. Ooh, again, I want to drop an elbow on her face. I would have made her look different, for sure. For at least weeks, maybe the rest of her life. I was so mad. Protect that kid at all costs. But yes, it would have been much more helpful. And maybe for her too, to be like, hey, what's going on? Instead of immediately just, I'm going to pile drive you in aisle 7 next to the syrup. You dumb cunt. Oh, I'm still mad about it. I can feel it in me. But I don't know. I don't know why someone would do that to a 2-year-old. I don't know why someone, maybe she just stopped. Maybe she can't see. I have no idea. There's all these things I keep thinking, and I can't go back and change it now. But in our society, you're supposed to be nice to kids. In the Epstein files, there's a lot of people not being nice to kids. And so that's very strange too. But we should just forget about it. It's fucking so weird. Oh, man. So I'm going to end this on a positive note if I can. But at the very least, we should just try to challenge things. Figure out what's pulling our strings in this matrix in our own minds, what's real and not real, and it's very hard to know sometimes. And I've said this to people, I'm like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't, and it's hard for me to know. It's hard for me to know, and that's maybe the hardest part. And people will say you're insane. You're an insane person for not knowing what's real. And you will be called insane for not knowing. You will be called insane for not believing what everyone else believes. You will be insane for challenging the status quo, and you will be called insane for trying things different than everybody else is doing. And I have lived in that space for a long time. This pole vault thing is probably the best example until 5 years in, I was called insane by people who have had posters on my walls, who I looked up to. And they said it was ridiculous what I was doing. It was stupid. It was cute is the word that keeps coming back into my head all the time. That one hurt probably the most. That's a cute little video thing you're doing on there. You can't make money online doing pole vault stuff. And now I bought a house with it. I support myself with these cute little videos for challenging the status quo, stepping out of the matrix and trying something different that hit me in the soul. That felt good to do. And yeah. Take a peek. Take a peek inside. Where's your brain going? Where is your brain? What can be challenged? What can't be challenged? Where do you want to go? I just want to feel happy all the time. That's a lie. I don't want to feel happy all the time. I would like to be in this space where I want to create and can create all the time. I can let my waves come out. Where do you want to live? Where's a space that feels good for you, where you can just it's your place. That's your that feels good. That kind of a place. And do you get there very often? I don't know. Thanks for listening to my rant today. My kids are home. They just got home, so I'm going to go hang out with them the rest of the day because it's one of my favorite things in the world. Life's meant to be experienced. Curiosity will get you there. Bye.